It's Monday, and that means we've got our investments exiting the weekend. We've also got new Team of the Week predictions all in today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of Trading to Glory. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sean, aka Elite, and today we're going to be going over our investments from this weekend, seeing why I invested in them, seeing what investments there are still to make, and basically learning about it for future weekends, future promos, and hopefully you guys have capitalized on some of the things I said in last episode, because one of the investments that I mentioned, Inform Rafinha, ended up rising quite a bit over the course of the last 24 hours, and I'll tell you exactly why that happened as well. So let's go ahead and hop into it, guys. But before we do, can we smash 420 likes on today's video? That would be absolutely amazing. You guys have been showing so much support in the videos recently, and I cannot be more thankful. So 420 likes on today's video would be absolutely amazing. And let's hop into it, guys. Some of the first cards that you see on this transfer list, Renan Lodi. This is an extinct card. We'll get into that in a second. And then we've also got a couple of Fred that I picked up for 304,000 coins. Not exactly the lowest point that he got today. I think 298 was the lowest I saw him at. But I got him with a shadow card, which adds a little bit more value. And I tried to pick him up before he started rising again. And then we've also got some SBC fodder, something we touched on in the last episode, but haven't fully dove into quite yet. Let's talk about Fred first. Fred is a card that kind of got panic sold, or I guess I should say more rage sold today, because, well, we all have seen at least something about it. Yes, Manchester United lost 5-0 to Liverpool. And I think a lot of people, especially Man U fans, not happy with that, didn't want to look at Fred in their team anymore and kind of just sold him off onto the market, despite the fact that that game had nothing to do with this card. This is a road to the knockout card, and UCL games, losing in the league or winning in the league, would not have made a difference. But he went from 350,000 coins all the way down to 298 at his low point, and now he's back up to about 317,000 coins, which is already up a decent bit from when I bought that card on stream earlier. And unfortunately, I did clear my transfer list at some point during the stream on accident, which means that I can't show you any of the sales that I made over the course of today. But it wasn't much because we hadn't invested really in last episode. We were just talking about the investments we were going to make. But Renan Lodi, this is a different one. It's another 85 rated Brazilian road to the knockout, sure, but this card is extinct at 100,000 coins. And the reason that this Lodi is extinct is because of the fact that it shouldn't be capped at 100K. I mean, it is quite that simple. If you compare it to some other road to the final cards, in fact, if you look at Andrew Robertson, this card as a road to the knockout is about 260,000 coins, and the stats actually are slightly worse. He's got one less skill move, one less weak foot star on the card. He's also got less pace. He's got less shooting. I believe the passing and the dribbling are somewhat similar. I think Robertson has like one more defense and then less physicality as well. So sure, you're paying a little bit of EPL tax, and it's a little harder to pack because it's 88 rated. And then on top of that, Liverpool are definitely going through. They're actually in the same group. Atletico Madrid are favorites to get second place, but I think Liverpool are pretty much locks to go through this. So this Andrew Robertson could end up going from 88 to 89. I mean, he's going to go to 89, but he could even go to 90 rated, while the Renan Lodi is more likely to get one upgrade, but maybe not so much the second upgrade, so he might only go to 86. But I've been sniping him all day, and even during the stream, which we streamed for a couple hours, I was just pretty much doing this the entire time, waiting for one to pop up. And it is pretty tough, because honestly, more than 90% of the time, even if you're super quick, you don't get the card. Like, I've had so many instances where I'm sniping this card and I genuinely do not believe that I could have been quicker. It was on the hour mark. I did not miss a beat. I didn't hesitate, and I still did not end up getting the card. So there's definitely some bots on this card, but if you get a little bit lucky, you can get some Renan Lodis. And if you really put some time in, you might get quite a few of them like I did. Put some coins into these Renan Lodis for 100,000 coins. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them, actually. I actually got like 4 of them within the same minute because at one point it just seemed like nobody else was looking at Ren and Lodi, and I just picked up every single one that kept popping up for like a minute. And that's kind of what happens. They come in waves if you're sniping some extinct cards. So you could go an hour without getting a single one and then just get 4 in the next minute. So it's just a lot about luck on those cards, because honestly, I'm pretty certain that there are bots on that card sniping it, because again, there have been times where I have quite literally been the quickest person of all time when sniping the card and still not gotten it. So I warn you, it's difficult to snipe the Ren and Lodi, but if you get one, I think it should be well over 100,000 coins. And as we enter into the next couple of days, this is kind of one of the more important parts of the video, because the market really shouldn't see too much supply over the next 2 days. Because on Monday, well, Mondays have been the most stable point of the week for every single week so far. Now, if you had asked me that same question last week, what day is the most stable, I probably would have said Tuesday. But ever since UCL marquee matchups came out on Tuesday last week, you can't really trust Tuesdays quite as much. But there's no UCL games this week, so it shouldn't really be an issue. If you're investing in cards, most of them have actually started rising a little bit already, and some of them are still kind of low, like that Fred that I just showed you, and there's quite a few different cards that are still low as well that you can get in on. All you got to do is check the FUTBIN graphs, guys. Take a look at a meta card and find one that kind of appeals to you. Trust the investments over the next 2 days, because I'll be honest with you, the market should be very stable, and that was a very laggy transition. Apologies for that. So we're looking good on the Freds. I know that this card, due to his fluctuation, should probably get back down to 300 and in 5,000 coins like I bought it for. I'm not going to list it right now, but he should get down to here over the next couple of hours, especially as Europe starts to wake up in 2 or 3 hours. These cards should drop down just a little bit back and be opportunities for you guys to pick them up. And then rise into the night, because unless there's some crazy SBC that drops, that's like tradable 35k pack that drops for a daily SBC that everybody goes out and does, that really shouldn't have too much of an impact on the market. So we should be good. Now, when we're talking about SBC fodder, now we'll segment into that. The SBC fodder, which we talked about in the last episode, is pretty low right now. The Fakir SBC is gone, and now we see some okay SBCs. Bernardo Silva, it's not as good as the Fakir SBC, but it is reasonably priced, and people are going out and doing this SBC, and for me, I'm kind of looking at it that like, okay, 100,000 coins for the SBC. It's not bad for a card that's actually got some pretty great stats this early. You wish you would have had a little bit better of a weak foot, but that's not too terrible. Maybe if it goes down a little bit lower, I'll go ahead and do that SBC. If SBC fodder gets down slightly lower. Seiko Fofana, that card, super hyped up. He's got all stats 79 and above with some pretty solid stats. 5 stats 83 and above. People in the reviews haven't really liked him too much, but there's so many different player SBCs that are out right now. Even the Florian Wirtz Player of the Month SBC is still out. So tons of different options on these guys if you wanted to do an SBC, which means that SBC fodder, there is a limit to how low it can go. And you guys might make fun of me for that and be like, okay, well, you know what? I said that about my Erling Haaland last week, and yep, he went lower. So I do know that there is a little bit of risk when investing in any gold card, because the supply could honestly kill it. But if you take a look at the FUTBIN graphs on some of these cards, and I know you can't see all of the prices on the right side, not that big of a deal right now, but if you take a look at Keylor Navas, which I've invested a few in already, and honestly could go all in on this card if I invested 500,000 more coins, I'd feel pretty safe about it, because as I said earlier, the SBCs that maybe get a little bit lower, a little bit cheaper, I'll go out and do. So there is a limit to how low they can go, because that Bernardo Silva SBC alone, I mean, there's a price that people will pay for it, you know? And if it gets to that price, people will go out and buy the SBC fodder needed to do the SBC. So there is a limit to how low these cards can go. And right now it's at 12,000 coins, but when the Fakir SBC dropped, it went up to almost 20,000 coins. And if you think about the return on investment, I mean, that is more than 33% of that price. I mean, you go from 12,000 12,009, 19,000. I mean, a 7K rise on that card, that's only 12K. That's a very, very good return on your investment. So when we look at those kind of graphs, it makes me think, all right, well, we're looking pretty safe right now with SBC fodder. And as we get closer to the Halloween promo that's been leaked, and I don't have the code up for you right now, but I'll explain what's in it. There's basically a team of the week 1 to 5 guaranteed pack in the code, which kind of throws me off. It could be a pre-order bonus. It could be something else that we're not expecting, but realistically, we're getting to the point in the year where we might start seeing repeatable SBCs, like a team of the week guaranteed SBC. And most of the time, those are rated like 84, but if 84s start to shoot up, then 85s will, and 86s will, and 87s will as well. Those cards will all start to rise in price. If even, 82s go up to 3,000 coins, well, so will 84s go up with them. Not even if they're needed necessarily for that SBC, but if 84s are more expensive because of one SBC, well, let's think back to that Bernardo Silva that we just talked about. If 84s are much more expensive now, it's probably not good to go with the 84s for a Bernardo Silva SBC. I'll go buy a Lewandowski for 34,000 coins, and I'll throw him in the SBC and use a bunch of 76s that I've already got in my club, and I'll actually save coins than going with a bunch of 84s. So that is something to think about when you're investing in some of this SBC fodder, guys. Now, I know that SBC fodder really comes down to what EA end up dropping. If they drop an SBC that's a card that everybody wants, but it's too expensive, not too many people are going to go out and buy that SBC fodder and actually do it. The demand isn't going to be that high, but if it's an SBC that everybody wants to do and it's cheap, like the Fakir, which was reasonably priced, they do rise. And as we get into a Scream promo, one of the biggest promos of the year, and I'm not sure if they're going to do Scream or Rule Breakers or whatever, but everybody loves the Halloween promo. It's always big. So it's definitely going to have an impact on the market one way or the other. And as I said, it can't go all too much lower, because if it does, then there are going to be people like me who go out and just do Bernardo Silva SBCs for cheap, So that's something to think about. As we enter into sort of the end of today's video, I want to talk about Team of the Week 6. Team of the Week 6, there's going to be a lot of supply for that on Wednesday. It's going to be more supply than we've seen on Wednesday so far this year, because of how bad the Team of the Week this week is. The best card in the current Team of the Week for Team of the Week 5, it's terrible. It's Roberto Firmino, 35K. That's the best thing that you can get out of one of these packs that I'm even saving, and I'm impatient as hell. And I've still got my premium Team of the Week pack. So you're going to see a lot of people at 6 p.m. UK and shortly afterwards open this pack. There's going to be a crazy amount of supply on these Team of the Week 6 cards on Wednesday, and they're going to be kind of low already right away because of all that supply. So there's going to be a point within the first 90 minutes of release of these Team of the Week cards that there's going to be a buy point in order to flip later into the night. So let's be on the lookout for that. In fact, you can kind of see how that worked in previous weeks if you take a look at FUTBIN graphs and you look at the hour mark. You can't see it if you just look at the days. So you got to look at the hour mark, and that is only there for 3 days on FUTBIN before it goes away. So you definitely have to trust me on that one. Those cards will hit a low point on Wednesday sometime after the release, and there's going to be a good opportunity to flip them. And there's always opportunity to snipe those cards when they get released as well. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these Team of the Week 6 cards. And this prediction is from FTM FUT Trading. As always, I just search Team of the Week 6 or TOTW 6 on Twitter, and I see what I can find. All right, so this was the first one I saw. So there's a couple of different cards that catch my eye. You've obviously got Alaba and Upamecano. There was somebody in my Twitch stream today. If you guys don't follow me on Twitch, link is down below, where I live stream some trading and packs and what not about FIFA 22. But they said, okay, I went out and I invested in Alaba. I bought 6 of them at like 68K. And I said, why would you do that? He was 22K yesterday. Well, he was like, okay, well, yeah, he was 22K yesterday, but then he scored an El Clasico. He's going to get an inform. And I was like, yeah, I get that. That part is not the one that confused me. The part that confused me is the fact that you bought that card at its peak. You bought him when he had already gone up. You bought into the hype. You're supposed to sell into the hype. So even if this card, which has already dropped 10,000 coins for him, gets into Team of the Week, there is a limit on how high he's going to go. People are more hyped up for the fact that he's going to get into Team of the Week for the OTW card than they are for the actual upgrade. And if that doesn't tell you that this card's going to go down on Wednesday, then I don't know what will. You see a card that's about 22,000 coins yesterday. It skyrockets in price after he scores a goal. Goes all the way up to 52K, and then after the game, he goes up to 68K. You just bought into the hype. And now you're going to lose coins. Now, when you look at an 86 rated Alaba, he's going to have like 79 pace. He's going to have great defense. His dribbling's going to be good for a center back, and passing's going to be great for a center back. Shooting's going to be great for a center back. Physicality, still kind of low. He's not the tallest center back, but you can kind of compare him to Koundé in terms of how he's going to play in game, most likely. It's not going to be a bad inform. But let's take a look at informs that came out this week that were 86 rated and weren't bad informs. Roberto Firmino, 35,000 coins. All right. There's not going to be so much demand for this Alaba that it's going to rise from 20,000 coins to 100,000 coins like you're expecting. Although it might get back up to 68K if he's lucky. Don't make those kind of mistakes though, guys. You need to be selling into the hype instead of buying into the hype. Let's head back to Team of the Week, though. We've got Upamecano, who had 2 assists in a 4-0 win for Bayern, so 2 assists from center back, plus a clean sheet. I think that guarantees he's getting in. Gaia, though, it's an 85 rated Team of the Week, and it's going to be one of those cards that pops up a lot for people in their red picks, if he does get into Team of the Week, of course. And we'll go ahead and talk about this again on Wednesday when we have the confirmed Team of the Week, but I just want to give some ideas for you guys ahead of time for investments in next weekend. Gaia, if he gets into Team of the Week, well, we were actually, I don't know if you saw, but I had Ansu Fati popped up right there. That's going to be a brilliant link to the inform Gaia if he does get in. That's not a unusable left back. If people get it as a red card, it will be used a decent amount, at least will be picked. And Ansu Fati could rise from 13K to 16K, no problem. As we scroll across, we've got Sebastian Coates, we've got Atal. Atal is always a really good card and really hyped up in FIFA. We'll see if that continues. Emre Can is going to be part of the Hullet Club, maybe, as a center mid. He had a really good game over the weekend against Armenia. I believe he did get subbed off around the 75th for a knock, but he had a great game nonetheless. Benaker from AC Milan. Oliver Torres doesn't look very good. You're not going to want to really look at links to Oliver Torres. The Ansu Fati's not going to rise because of Oliver Torres, because anybody who packs him is never going to use him. You can use Gaia, you can use Emre Can. So a link to Emre Can, maybe that RTTK Royce, it might be a little bit out of budget for most players, but I think it's a usable link between Emre Can and Royce. 389,000 coins. It's definitely a little expensive for most players, but not completely unreasonable price for what you're getting in return. And obviously Dortmund do have 6 points in the group, so they're in second behind Ajax. So there is a chance that Royce does get upgraded. But I'm getting a little bit sidetracked there. Szoboszlai from RB Leipzig. I actually thought they were going to lose that game, and then they just turned up in the second half. You've got Emil Smith-Rowe, who did really well in the Arsenal game on Thursday. Aubameyang also had a pretty good game, so one of the two are probably going to get into Team of the Week. Salah, I think he's guaranteed a hat trick and an assist against Manchester United away. Yeah, that's going to do it. And here's the thing. People know he's going to get into Player of the Month, and they've been saying, okay, well, he's probably not going to get a Team of the Week because he's in Player of the Month, but it's not necessarily how Team of the Week works. As long as they weren't in the last Team of the Week, so as long as he wasn't in Team of the Week 5, he can get into Team of the Week 6. There's no requirement for that, and it's not going to overlap with the Player of the Month anyway. The Player of the Month is not going to come out for another 2 weeks, so he should be fine to get into Team of the Week. And if it's not Salah, it'll probably be Naby Keita. Phil Foden from Manchester City, that's going to be a great card. That's going to be such a good card. You're going to see that as one of the meta cards in in FIFA Ultimate Team for sure. And then as you scroll across, you don't have too many other cards that are going to be all that usable. Josh King, I feel like, is not going to be used even with okay stats. Cornet from Burnley, that one's not terrible, not going to lie. He's got great physicality, great pace, okay dribbling, okay shooting. That one's not too bad. We'll have to think about some links if he does end up getting in for Burnley. I think they tied 2-2 and he had both goals. But pretty good team of the week this week. It's going to be good no matter what they pick. There are options everywhere. So there's going to be so many good investments this week, which is why I wanted to bring up what we're seeing here. There's a couple other predictions here. Salah, Foden, Tadic, Alaba, Ibra, and Aubameyang. That's who I mentioned a minute ago. Mount, Volland from Monaco. Emre Can also in this one. Upamecano, Simeone. A couple of overlaps there. A couple of new guys. There's another one. Aubameyang also in this one. Upamecano, Mount, King, Fabianski, Salah, Hummels in this one, which I don't completely disagree with over Emre Can. Of course, I want Emre Can to get in as a FIFA enthusiast, but if you saw the game against Armenia, Hummels actually had a screamer from outside the box on a volley. So that was actually a pretty awesome goal to witness. And Jude Bellingham had a really nice goal that game as well. And I think Jude Bellingham ended up getting man of the match, but I believe Emre Can was more of a rock that game and more important to the outcome in the end. So it's a tough one for EA to choose from that Dortmund game. But nonetheless, we're going to have a pretty good team of the week. It's going to be very exciting, and there's a lot of investments to get in on. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support over the last couple of weeks. Last month, I guess. I mean, the game's been out for a little over a month now, and we haven't really missed a day of uploads so far, including a few days of double uploads. So if you guys are still making it to the end of these videos, I'm going to go ahead and give you a word to comment down below, and today's word is going to be spinach, which is not the easiest word to spell. It doesn't actually spell quite how it sounds. So I'll let you figure that out. I'm not going to tell you how to spell it. You figure it out. But as long as you use that word in your comment or an emoji, I don't know if spinach has an emoji. Maybe a Popeye emoji or something along those lines. An anchor emoji. That'll really get them confused. If they didn't make it to the end of the video and you just see somebody comment anchor and it's just a bunch of them, that's going to confuse people. So I'll count that. And I'll make sure to heart every single one of them. Thank you guys so much for the support. Again, 420 likes on this video. That's what we're going for. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, which, by the way, somebody, another YouTuber called me out in a challenge. So that might be tomorrow's video. It might be the next day, but it's coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. I'll see you then. Peace out.